Good morning and happy Friday. I'm so excited that it's Friday. It's kind of overcast and rainy here in Nashville. And today we're going to do an Ask Me Anything, plus I want to share with you the 3 books that I'm reading this next week. So welcome. I'm so glad that you can join us today. Good morning. I actually got a different tripod set up. My husband helped me because we have been having tripod issues, and so I'm really hoping that it will work better because I was so tired of dealing with the taped together tripod situation. Okay, so for those of you who are new, my name is Crystal Payne and I am the founder of MoneySavingMom.com, as well as the creator of the 14-day online course called Make Over Your Mornings, and that's at makeoveryourmornings.com. I am also a wife to Jesse, and I am the mom of 3 kids. We are the parents, I should say, of 3 kids, and we are we live in the Nashville, Tennessee area, and we are self-employed entrepreneurs, and we co-homeschool our kids. Our kids are 10, 8, and 6. So welcome, so many of you. We are from the Nashville, Tennessee area, as I just said. Okay. Sorry, I feel like I'm in total squirrely scope mode. Thanks, Mackenzie. I listened to Mackenzie's squirrely scope last night while I was going to sleep. Is that kind of a weird thing to go to sleep to? But yes, that's what I did. Okay, so I wanted to share with you what, I wanted to share with you what I was reading this next week, because today I sat down and I picked out my books for next week, which might sound weird to you, but I am finishing up one book. There's another book that I decided not to finish, and I got to then pick 3 more books. So, trying to block some of these trolls so our legit people can be on. Okay, so the 3 books that I'm going to read this coming week, and then you can get your questions ready because we're going to do an Ask Me Anything. Okay. The first book is Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis, and this one was inspired by Jessica Fisher, for those of you who follow her on Periscope. She's also at Life as Mom and GoodCheapEats.com. So this one, she was mentioning it in an email to me and saying something that she had learned from it, and I haven't read much C.S. Lewis, and I was inspired by what she said and it intrigued me, and so I am reading this. I'm actually halfway through it because I ordered a used copy on Amazon. That's one of my tips, is to order used copies. Don't ever order new copies. Order the used copies and they're tons cheaper. Thanks, Jessica. It's just you there. Yeah, there's Gabby girl. It's just we have these trolls. We get rid of them, and then we can all just be normal, legit people together. Okay, so anyway, I found it online for free. I had ordered a used copy and I found it online for free, and so I read half of it. It was kind of in this, it was like pages and it was hard to read, but I was reading it on my phone while we were driving, and I got through half of it, and so I'm excited to read the rest of it. It's kind of an interesting story, and I still don't know what I think of it, but that's that. So that's the first one, and the second one, I'm super excited about this one. It's called Rest Assured by Vicki Courtney. This one has come highly recommended to me by so many people. It looks really good and it looks perfect for my year of rest. And I think there's a good chance that we might do this as a for our book club. We'll see, but I think we might. So I'll read it and then I'll decide whether I have enough underlined and enough dog-eared to do it as a book club. And then the final one is by Lynn Austin, and it's called All She Ever Wanted. And I have read a lot of Lynn Austin's books, really like them, but it's been a little while since I've read one of hers, so I'm excited to read another one of hers and just kind of get caught up in fiction story. Yes, it's fiction. She is a Christian fiction author, and I usually really enjoy her books. I love the way that she develops her characters. It's kind of this slow development, but there's a lot of richness to her characters, and I really love that in books. I love when the development is really slow, so then you kind of like, you fall in love with this person. Did I finish Redeeming Love? Yes, I did. For those of you who are on my Crystal Pain email newsletter, that is, you can sign up for that if you go to MoneySavingMom.com/scope. And that book, I talked about that in my last email newsletter. Okay, so here's the deal. It was okay. It was not by any chance the best book I've ever read in my life. Sorry, Stacy. It was a little bit edgy. It was a little bit edgy for me, and I kept thinking, you know, this is kind of this beautiful love story, but here's how I think. I'm like, what if some woman is reading this who is in a bad relationship with her husband, or she just like they're having marriage problems? She could almost look at this and think, my husband will never measure up to this. And so that's kind of the thing that I have a problem with fiction or movies, or is that we just have to be careful that it doesn't cause us to almost like want something that we don't have and become discontent. So that was my viewpoint of it, and it was too edgy for me. I just thought that there were too many sexual scenes and too much stuff that it was just it just was. I thought it was a good story, as in it was a well-written book. But I would not say it was the best book I've ever read. So that was Show Us Your Shoes. Did you guys just see that one? That was the new one, Show Us Your Shoes. Okay. I guess they're getting creative since they can't say certain words on Scope anymore. It was Redeeming Love. Yeah, the trolls are weird today. I don't know what's we've got. They're a little bit creative today. I guess maybe because it's Friday. I would not like 1,000 Splendid Suns. Well, thanks for letting me know. I also realized that I was going to read to you from this. Will I read all of those in 1 week? We'll see. I have next week is not a really busy week, and I know that on Sunday I don't have anything going on other than church. We usually have community group and sometimes some other things, so that means that I'll probably get like 3 to 4 hours to read on Sunday. So there's a good chance that I will read this on Sunday, and then there's a good chance that I will read this in the mornings. I've been reading a book, reading a chapter or two of a book every morning now that I'm getting up early again finally. And so I'll probably read this in the mornings next week. There's only 8 chapters, so there's a good chance I can get through that. And this one, I'm going to try to finish it on Saturday. So we'll see. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to read this from this book to you because I wanted to it's Friday, so we're just going to do it all in one. Ask Me Anything, and our Chit Chatty Scope, and our Book Club Scope. Okay, so this was actually from chapter 5, I think. Let me see. Yes, chapter 5. There was a little bit at the end that I didn't read to you yesterday that I really wanted to read. It was, what I find most intriguing is that it's nearly impossible to get anyone to admit that they are overly busy because of their own choices. We like to play the victim and believe that being busy is normal, expected, or worse, unavoidable. And that really challenged me because I think we wear this busyness almost as like a badge of honor. And I thought that that was good, is that the reality though is that if you are too busy, it is because you committed to too many things. You made your schedule, said yes to too many projects, and refused to turn down all those enticing invitations to happy hour, holiday barbecues, and dance till you drop weddings. Okay, well maybe that's not what I'm... maybe it's more like to help people and to do blog projects and opportunities and that sort of thing. I'm not really happy hour, holiday barbecues, and dance to drop weddings. That's not really what's filling up my calendar, but maybe I need to get more of a social life or something. But anyway, it was just the whole thing of that if you're too busy, it's because you are committed to too many things. And I need to be reminded of this a lot because I have a tendency to overcommit, as I've talked about a lot. And this just challenged me to remember that, you know, don't play the victim to busyness. Do we homeschool? Yes, we do. We have 3 kids. Catherine is 10, Caitlin is 8, and Silas is 6. And we co-homeschool, which means that my husband and I both are involved in the homeschooling. I homeschool in the morning, and I'm doing Sunlight Core D with the kids, which that includes Bible, history, geography, reading, read aloud, and then we're getting ready to start creative writing. So that's what I do in the mornings with the kids, and then my husband is in charge of science, math, and language arts, and he is so good at that, and I am so grateful. Do I scope before the kids wake up? Well, I used to, but now that I'm getting up early for the Get Up Early Challenge, and we're getting up the kids early, and because we started this morning routine, then a new family morning routine, then they've been getting up about 7 o'clock, and so I'm scoping while they are getting breakfast. And actually one of our things was Jesse he's in charge of doing breakfast and getting the kids around in the morning, and then we all meet and have our family Bible time and eat breakfast, and then I take over school. And then he usually works or he leaves and goes somewhere. Today he has a meeting, and so he'll be gone all morning. And wait, I just said that out on the internet. Don't worry, don't come. He's gonna be like 2 blocks away, so don't any burglar think that you can come break in. There's my husband. And maybe you should have your meeting at our house now that I put it out on the internet. Anyway, and so then we have lunch, and then he takes over in the afternoon, and then that's my working time. So yeah, 7 is totally reasonable. Some kids have to get up a lot earlier than that. And for the first few days, our kids were like, "This is so early. This is so awful." And we're like, well, if you went to a regular school, you would have to get up before this and probably be on the bus by this time. So how old are our children? They are 10, 8, and 6. And our oldest is about ready to turn 11 at the end of this month, which we can barely, it's hard to believe she's gonna turn 11. Yeah, I know the kids, they are blessed that they get to sleep in. Yeah, I'm like reminding them all the time, like, you have it so good. You get so much sleep. You get to go to bed early, and then you get to sleep in. So your husband would have caught that. He's Mr. Security. Yeah, I usually don't like go around telling what my husband is doing because the whole internet doesn't need to know that. But I trust you all. You're safe. So. Your oldest just turned 11 a month ago. It's so weird. It's like, I feel like my kids should still be 3, but yet then I can't imagine not having them. Like, I can't imagine life before them. Do I make them get dressed? Well, part of their morning thing is that they have to get up, and then they have to take their shower and get dressed, get their hair fixed, and then do their chores. So that's what they have to do. And they are, so by breakfast time, which is around 8 o'clock, it's gonna be a little later today because I'm up here scoping, but they have to be all dressed and ready for the day. So yeah, the neighbor kids catch the bus at 6:30 a.m. I was like, I think I homeschool because I'm a little bit lazy. I can't imagine getting everybody out the door at 6:30 in the morning. What time zone? We are in Nashville, so we are on the very edge of the central time zone. We used to live in Kansas, and are we a part of any co-ops? We are not. The reason that we're not is because our kids do sports, so they are very involved in Catherine, our oldest, is on swim team. She's on a homeschool swim team, and that meets 3 days a week. Caitlin, our 8-year-old, is a figure skater, and she has lessons and coaching and jump lessons and other things that she does. It's a little bit different every single week, depending upon whether she has competition or not. This is our first year that she's going to be doing traveling competitions, so that's going to be a new adventure. But she usually has at least 2 to 3 afternoons a week that she has lessons, sometimes more, depending upon what she's working on. And then Silas, our 6-year-old, is getting ready to start swimming. He did soccer and he did baseball, and he's getting ready to start swimming because he can't swim. he can swim, but not enough that we feel comfortable with, and it's very important to us that all our kids know how to swim well. I just feel like that's a skill that we want them to have, and so he's getting ready to do swim lessons, and so he'll be doing that. I don't know how many days a week that will be, but my husband is in charge of all of the kids' activities. But so we do the sports or activities, whatever you want to call them, we do that instead of doing homeschool co-op because that's pretty involved. We'll be posting my new daily schedule. I don't usually post my schedule anymore because I don't really like to put it out for the whole world, what we're doing when and where we'll be when. So it's kind of a privacy sort of thing. So I stopped doing that. Probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I stopped putting out the whole schedule because I just felt a little weird about everybody kind of knowing what we were doing at what time. But I gave you kind of the basics there. Just try to be careful because there's some weird people on the internet and we've had some weird situations, so we just try to be careful. So I can tell you some interesting stories, but we'll save those. I just think it's always, you gotta be careful. You gotta be wise, and you don't need to tell everybody where you're gonna be at all times. And yeah, so just be careful. We have interesting trolls today. No weird people. Everything is totally legit on the internet. Yes, and totally believe everything you read on the internet too, because it's all legit. Yes. They may show up in person to see my shoes. That's right. And we wouldn't want that to happen. Cute outfit today. Oh, you're kind. So this was like this morning. Last night I did not lay out my clothes for some reason. I try to always pick them out ahead of time, down to earrings and everything. So I just grab them and take my shower. And this morning I didn't. And so then I was standing in my closet going, and it was just, I'm like, this is why you do it before you go to bed. And then you don't have to take this extra time in the morning to mess with this. So, oh, you're sweet. You know what? It helps to do scope because then I have to look somewhat presentable. Because if I don't scope, I'll just be like, I'm just going to wear my yoga pants and I'm going to wear my hoodie, and I would wear that almost every single day. So where do I shop the most? Well, I don't really shop. I don't like to shop. This morning, actually, a couple of my pairs of earrings, I have like kind of 5 or 6 that I wear all the time and rotate through, and 2 of them broke. I'm not really sure what's up with my earring situation, but I think it was on our trips and our luggage, and they broke. And so I was looking and saying, I probably need to replace these 2 because I'm kind of down to just a few, and I don't have some that match with all my outfits. Then I'm like, oh, that means I have to go shop or go look on Amazon. Yeah. But to answer your question, if I do shop, which is very rare, Kohl's is usually where I go to. I also get a lot of stuff off of Amazon, and I do use Stitch Fix some. If you are interested, I did a super honest review of Stitch Fix. I don't really promote it much because I feel like I don't necessarily know that it's the most frugal thing, but I did a really honest review on Stitch Fix, and I earned some credit, and so I've used that to get some fixes. Actually was all out of credit because they only allow you to have a certain amount per year, and I maxed that out, but then they just, I guess the year started over again, so I got some more. But anyway, if you go to MoneySavingMom.com/scope, there's my super crazy honest review of Stitch Fix if you're interested in that. You're getting your first fix today. Woo! I hope you like it. I have found that it took me about 3 fixes to then find a good, I can't even think what they call them, but the person who pulls your clothes, who like picks the clothes for you. I found someone who does a good job of picking out stuff for me. So like these earrings, pick that out. Stylist, thank you. I have no brain cells today. What is the Bible creative writing? I'm not sure what you're referring to. You haven't scoped in 2016. Well, you need to get on that court. You need to scope. Yeah. If I take a break from scoping, then it's all kind of odd because it feels weird again. So, maybe it would be a fun scope. Yeah, you should do that. You should totally do that. And then put that up on YouTube, because the unboxing, those unboxings of Stitch Fix are really popular on YouTube, and you can then link to your referral link on there without having to promote it to your audience. What is my occupation? I am a self-employed blogger and author. I've written 3 books, and but basically the blog is what I do. It's at MoneySavingMom.com, and then we also have kind of some spin-off things that we do from that. What denomination are you? We are Christian. We go to a Bible church. So I think that the denomination thing can get a little bit, it's kind of one of those things that I feel like it's your heart, and that you love Jesus, and that you believe kind of the basic tenets of Christianity, versus, I don't know, we can get down to all these little nitty-gritty things that can be divisive, and I don't see the value in spending a lot of time arguing over things that, you know, I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, at the end of my life, when I stand before Jesus, is this going to matter? So, a believer, that's right. I have my Paris mug today. I love this mug. Sarah May sent it to me with her book, Longing for Paris, I think that's the name, and I just love it. Makes me smile. You're speaking at your first conference in April. What is your best tip for preparing a workshop? My best tip, I'll give you 2 tips. My one best tip would be to be able to say in one sentence what your workshop is about. So many times people try to accomplish 10 things in one workshop, and they would say, so I learned this from the SCORE conference. That's SCORRE, the SCORE conference, taught by Ken Davis, and he says that you should have what's called an ugly sentence, where you say everyone can learn to blank by doing these 3 things or whatever. So you in one sentence, he says it better than that, but in one sentence that you can basically say what your talk is about. You should be able to do that with a blog post you write. You should be able to do that with a book that you write. You should be able to do that with a product that you develop. Then in one sentence, you can tell what you're accomplishing. That really helps you to hone in then on what you're going to do. So that is the first tip. The second tip would be to practice your talk exactly like you're going to give it, including if you have slides, if you have notes, if you're going to have a clicker, whatever. SCORE is actually not a national organization. I think there's something else possibly called SCORE. I'm not sure. But SCORE is taught by Ken Davis, and it's a conference and an online. He has a podcast, and they have some online workshop stuff too. But anyway, so practice out loud on your feet in front of an audience. This was one of the best things that helped me when I first started speaking. For the first year, every single talk that I gave, I would have my music stand there, like it was holding my notes. Thank you, Jesse. So my music stand there, and I have my clicker, and I have my computer, my clicker to click the slides, and I would practice it exactly like I was going to give it. And the reason that I did that was because then, and in front of my poor husband and kids, they had to sit through all sorts of things. I'd be like, you can be on the, you can be looking at something or on your phone or whatever, but I just need a warm body in the room while I'm giving this, because that's really good practice for you to get used to speaking in front of people, what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, your body language, your hand motions, everything. So those would be my two tips. Those are the things that influenced me the most. I do have a post that I wrote kind of with more tips, so if you're interested, you can email me, crystal@moneysavingmom.com, and I'll send you the link. Did you decide which curriculum to use for creative writing? Well, what I ended up doing is I ordered, it's not a curriculum per se, but I ordered 2 workbooks that I thought my girls would be really excited about. I can't remember the exact name. And then, I know what I did. I also ordered a story prompts from Karen Andriola. I don't remember what the name was because it hasn't come in yet. I ordered it from Amazon, and it was story prompts, and so then so basically I want them to practice their handwriting and then work on writing stories. So whatever Karen Andriola, her story prompts, we're gonna try it and we'll see how it goes. And with Silas, I'm gonna mostly just be working on his handwriting. How did you guys transition from traditional jobs to home business? It was a process, not something that we ever saw ourselves doing. My husband went to law school when we got married, and we assumed that he would be an attorney for all the years of our marriage until he retired. And it was funny how the law school journey became just a stepping stone for something much bigger than we could have ever imagined. And I started Money Saving Mom out of law school. So I started blogging when he was in law school, started researching about ways to make money online when he was in law school, and then started Money Saving Mom I think the year after he graduated, if I'm getting my dates right. And we thought it was just going to be this little side thing that I was going to do, and it ended up just mushrooming far beyond what we could have ever dreamed or imagined. And so in 2014, my husband closed down his law firm, and we moved to Nashville, and we are in business together. We also have rental properties that he manages, and that's something that he wants to do a lot more of. And so we're slowly accumulating those with the goal of eventually being able to have that be a really strong passive income. So we'll see. But anyway, so that's the transition. Was just, it was a process, and kind of slowly, and lots of talking and lots of communication together. Yes, Crystal at MoneySavingMom.com. Yes. Yes, it's something very different than we could have ever dreamed or imagined. And it's not like I could tell you that, I know what the next 10 years are going to hold. I feel like God gives us light for the very next step, and we take that next step and trust Him for the next step and the next step and the next step. And He's so faithful to constantly lead and guide us. Are you going back to Africa? I hope. We don't have any specific plans at this point, but we definitely hope to make that happen this year. So I'm excited to get to go back there. Yesterday they were WhatsApping. That's kind of like Boxer or texting. They were WhatsApping us different pictures from some of the projects that they're doing there, and it just made me say, oh, I just want to go back. So what brand are my cute dresses? Would that be, I have 3 knit dresses. They're ones that I wear sweaters over and leggings under. And those, I got them from Stitch Fix, and I don't know what the brand is, but they're all the same. And when I got the one, I said, I love it, love it, love it. And so they sent me, then 2 more in the next few fixes. And I was so excited, because I'm just like, once I get something that I like, just stick with it and get it in all the colors. So then I don't have to worry about getting other things. So anyway, I am going to need to get off because it's time for our breakfast and Bible time, but it was great to hang out with you all. I hope that you have a wonderful day. And I was going to mention that this afternoon I will be on, I think it will be 3:30. Yeah, 3:30 Central Time this afternoon I'll be on, and I will be doing a Money Making Mom scope on self-publishing, and also more of a chit-chatty Q&A since it's Friday. So if you have any questions about anything related to business, blogging, social media, anything that I've talked about, or self-publishing, you can join us then, and I'll see you then. Have a great day.